This new year, why not let Audible expand your life by listening? Explore over 1 million audiobooks, podcasts, and exclusive Audible originals that'll inspire and motivate you. Tap into your well-being with advice and insight from leading professionals and experts on better health, relationships, career, finance, investing, and more. Maybe you want to kick a bad habit or start a good one. If you're interested in learning how to master your emotions and hearing scientifically backed advice for using your emotions as a tool, may I suggest Shift by psychologist and bestseller author Dr. Ethan Kross? Trust me, listening on Audible can help you reach the goals you set for yourself. Start listening today when you sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com/Wondery. That's audible.com/Wondery.
All right, that's good. Just don't hit that red button because I clicked it. I mean, hey, like I can get right into things. I mean, shout out to NASCAR today. Wood Brothers getting the win. Here's all I'll say. Just give me like 15, 20 seconds. Right, you look at the round of 8 tracks. You've got Las Vegas, where Josh Berry just won. Then you've got Talladega and Martinsville, 2 tracks where Team Penske is typically really good, right? And Wood Brothers, they have the Team Penske Alliance. Then you can look at Phoenix, the championship race. That's another track. Penske's been really good there. I mean, I'm not saying it. I don't want to like call my shot or anything, but like, I don't know. It's possible.
The only racing news I have today is that Ferrari had a water in the car problem at the Australia Grand Prix.
It was so funny.
And there were ducks on the track.
Yeah.
If there was water in the car, I assume there was enough water elsewhere for there to be ducks on the track. Yes.
Well, so there was water on the track earlier because they had to cancel the Formula 2.
Ducks in the water on the track.
Yes. Well, water on the track that the ducks were then in because it was just a pond at Albert Park. So they canceled the F2 race, and then it cleared up enough that they could start the F1 race. But then, God, like 20 minutes into the race, Charles comes on the radio and goes, "There's a lot of water in, like, is there a leak? Like, there's so much water in my seat." What does his engineer say to him? Must be the water.
I didn't know that Charles Leclerc also drove a 2000 Chrysler Sebring convertible.
Yeah. News to everybody.
That's little did they know that Ferrari built their new F1 car base on a Chrysler Sebring convertible.
Yeah, so
a 25-year-old Chrysler Sebring.
I mean, hey, you've got that Stellantis tie-in.
One of my friends was actually in Australia at the race, and he was on vacation. So let me see if I can pull up his. Let's just see what he said on his Instagram. Formula One Australian Grand Prix race weekend, a very wet Sunday race, but super exciting and lots of action. He's looking forward to go to his next race, and this is just him like soaked in the camera, which I don't know if you can see it. But
here, put your hand behind your phone, and then we'll be able to see it.
Oh, now we can see. Oh, yes, he does look
He's
quite
very,
moist.
very moist. But he was mostly inside. But he had a good time. So I'm glad he was able to enjoy that, even though it must be the water.
Yeah. And then Charles was like, let's add that to the words of wisdom.
Welcome, everyone. You stepped on me.
Totally step on it. I was about to talk about the Ferrari shorts and hat that looks like something compromising in the same.
Keep cooking, Commish. We'll do the welcome.
Yeah. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Have you heard about these pants, folks?
Have you seen this hat? Have you heard about these shorts?
Oh my god! I'm so excited for you to see it.
Have you not? Okay, I gotta.
Oh god!
Man. No, there were shorts too.
Not... I'm concerned.
A hat and shorts.
It should be.
Yeah, where did I put
that? Nobody checked.
There it is. Yeah, nobody really focused on the hat. The shorts are a little like, how do you say?
Are they in the podcast chat? I'm waiting.
Sorry.
I'll get you. I got you.
It's there. Hold on. I'm trying to get the. There's this link has multiple.
Oh yes, I did see this.
No, there's the shorts too, but
there are shorts.
Okay.
Oh god!
Click on the thing. Hold on.
Oh my god! Oh no!
Yeah, there's the shorts. Yes.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Beth, I need you to describe.
The hat is one thing, but the shorts.
Yeah, it was the shorts that took me out.
But you gotta get the magic set, you know.
These are red shorts and a red hat with a Ferrari logo upon this red hat and a toaster strudel level dribble.
We could say maybe like a little bit of a paint splatter.
So it's
like,
somebody skeeted all over this hat.
Yeah.
And the shorts.
And I'm upset about it.
It's supposed to look like a champagne spray.
That is not what it
looks like. Another spray, however.
It's not like a champagne spray. It looks like this has been from the windows to the walls.
Someone's
literally on the shorts to the
graphic design.
Yeah.
The official shorts of Bluesky.
Yeah. The official shorts of Bluesky.
What's that?
For when you want to send your best ski.
I know, definitely. It's now Skidera Ferrari. So. Welcome to the Sickos Too Many podcast.
This is our podcast for the evening of March 16th, 2025. Yeah, that was a way to start this show out.
The worst part about it is the pose that the guy is doing in the shorts.
At least we got to the finish of the cold open.
So did the guy who did that on the hat.
Hey. Mamma mia.
It is
a spicy meatball. Yes, all right.
It is upsetting.
A little bit. I am so glad that Carlos Sainz is not on this team anymore. You don't need a smooth operator rolling in that hat.
I love in Google when you enter a document that you're not signed in on, it tells you anonymous animals that your logins. Tonight, one of us is anonymous capybara. We have an anonymous Dumbo octopus.
Anonymous Dumbo octopus.
And an anonymous ibex. God, I love it.
I wish I wish I could see which one I am.
Don't forget the anonymous koala.
I don't see anonymous koala.
I have an anonymous cheetah.
That means anonymous koala is you. If you don't.
I am anonymous. I am anonymous koala. Me?
You are.
I love being anonymous koala. Folks, as always, I am anonymous koala. With me tonight, we have Pig Girl, Beth, Arthur on the ones and twos, Kamish, and then guest Big Sky Bridget and guest Grish, Sicko CBB man extraordinaire. Holy shit, we've got lots of people tonight. Let's go with Bridget.
It's March.
Bridget, how are you?
I'm good. I'm back from Starch Madness and I've caught up on my sleep.
Good. Grish?
So I'm still working on the spreadsheet here, but I'm almost done. It's been quite a day because I also follow the women's tournament closely too. So we had multiple bracket announcements. I didn't even see the WNIT one yet. So yeah,
I don't think they've launched it yet.
No, I don't think
the delays on it.
We'll talk about the NIT.
We'll get it later.
It's
madness.
It's something.
Is the basketball crown set yet?
I didn't even check that yet either, to be honest.
We got the CBI. We got the CBI and the NIT both claiming UC Riverside. I don't know which tournament they're going to go into.
I really hope that they do both because right now
I
play 2 games in 4 days.
So the thing I discovered today, because I was watching the NASCAR race, which was of course on FS1, they have started advertising the college basketball crown. I did not realize it starts on March 31st.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What?
That's in Vegas, right?
Yeah. So the teams, whoever ends up in the college basketball crown, not only are they going to have to play, extra college basketball, they're going to have to wait like 2 weeks and then start playing college basketball again. Like they are going to be playing like that same week as the national championship game, which is just crazy. Like it's one thing to, at this point in the season, for teams that did not make the tournament, be like, okay, you're going to play a little bit of extra basketball,
but not waiting that long.
Yeah, I have been very down on the college basketball crown as a whole. I feel like that's like the one tournament we don't need to defend, because the whole concept is like, what if we only got bad power conference teams? But man, like this is even worse than I thought.
Hey, they're letting them into the tournament. North Carolina gets to play in Dayton.
Well, North Carolina split their games with Pitt. I mean, the key thing is to just not you go 0-1 against Pitt. That's bad. That's really bad. Terrible. You gotta get that split. You gotta earn the split. And for the teams that lost to Pitt and missed the tournament, that's your fault for only playing Pitt once.
They lost at home to Stanford. Like, I can't even emphasize how ridiculous it is.
But have we considered the fact that their name is UNC?
I mean, that's why they're in the tournament, frankly.
Well, Pitt Girl, we can talk about that later, because I apparently am a fearmonger online, so I need to bring that up. Pitt Girl, I did want to mention that Pitt had another L today. They lost the hurling championship to Purdue. That's 2 years in a row Pitt's dropped hurling.
We'll get back there. It's okay. We'll get back there. I have full faith in our hurlers.
Notre Dame wins the Gaelic football championship for the 4th year in a row.
I'm shocked.
We're very excited.
While I am technically introducing myself, I'm seizing this as my moment to introduce myself. I want to mention something that is rent-free in my brain that did not make the show notes because we have too many things to to talk about. And that is the green fire bursting out of a manhole cover at Texas Tech this week.
Yeah, they elected a new pope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the new. I think that I would like to think that this is how Lubbock observes St. Patrick's Day, in the same way that Chicago dyes the Chicago River green. You just have green fire bursting out of a manhole cover in Lubbock.
I was reading it's probably copper. Is copper what turns things green in fire? Yes.
Potentially, yes.
Beth, how are you?
We've been having some weather today.
Yeah, seriously.
Wild weather. I will say that St. Francis got some good news today and some bad news today. The good news was that, obviously they're going to be in the NCAA tournament officially, and that is lovely. The bad news is that a bunch of trees toppled over and blocked the entrance to the university today because, my friends, we got some crazy storms, and we actually had a tornado in my town today, which is the second time that has happened ever since we've been keeping track.
Beth, I told obnoxiously Pitt boyfriend about this, and he was like, I'm sorry, what?
Exactly. This is the correct response. I was in rehearsal and missed it. I went out to the Dollar General to get some distilled water, and the lady is like, did you see the tornado? And I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
I assume that everybody in your town in classic Central PA fashion was either on their porch or in their garage or had their nose pressed up directly to the window.
I assume the number of bad cell phone videos that my Facebook is full of right now of look at my deck get blown clean off.
Hell yeah.
It's right on brand. It's absolutely perfect.
Central Pennsylvanians rock.
I saw there was also hail in
your direction. It wasn't going to come in. We got guns in that.
I saw some reasonable sized hail.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't super big. It was only it was less than ping pong ball size.
The biggest pieces of hail that friend of the show, Scott, because that was his video that I sent you.
Yeah.
The biggest pieces of hail that he said that he had were 1/2 inch.
Okay, that's pretty big.
That's real money.
That'll do it. Yeah.
It does hail here. It does tornado here. Very rarely seriously. I have never seen hail bigger than
unserious tornadoes.
You are more likely to see these things either where Arthur is or where Pit Girl is than where I am. It's wildly rare where I am because I'm right on the other side of the continental divide, and tornadoes typically don't like that.
Yeah.
You know, there's making it rain. There's making it hail. I'm just trying to think of whether weather phenomena we could bring with cash.
Oh.
With cash?
No, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, you only have coins and paper money, unless there's some weather phenomenon linked to like swiping a credit card or like tapping the thing on the reader.
Make it tap.
Wait, it's the just throw it in the bag.
New strip club idea. We call it tap that ass. Every stripper has
HR.
Reader.
Is a chip reader in it?
Yes, and you
as
literally
your HR representative, Jordan, I'm gonna have to nix this idea.
You just.
We have actual HR now. Bridget's HR.
Someone has
HR. I'm HR.
We have real HR now.
What about?
I don't like this.
What about a payment system where it's like Apple Pay, but instead it's like Melon Pay or something?
They have that in Korea, Arthur.
Oh, okay, perfect.
What's the island? Is it Yap that has the giant stones that...
Yes. Yeah. And the stones don't move, but people keep track of them.
Right. So we need a version of that for strip
clubs. That basically is how our paper currency works. The stones don't move, but we keep track of that.
It's true.
It's true.
Arthur slamming down a Celsius.
I have never drunk a Celsius at 10:15 at night.
What is it?
Yeah, that is.
Oh, it's a Michelob Light.
Yeah,
it's a Michelob Ultra. Okay.
It's the Corona premiere again.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
I'm drinking Werner's tonight.
That is a good choice.
Yeah.
Someone has told me I need to try a Werner's float.
Vanilla
ice cream. I bet it'd be very good. Kamish, I haven't introduced you yet. How are you doing, sir?
I'm great.
Oh, good.
It's great. The in-laws left. We're fine. So no, we're good. No, I'm great. It was a fun weekend. It was windy as hell. Wildfires around the city. I'm sure there was some stuff in Oklahoma. Hopefully everybody's okay around there. Some wild weather down in the south, tornadoes and whatnot. So yeah, hope everybody's okay. And let's settle in for some March Madness non-weather style.
Well, Bridget, let's start with you to talk about Starch Madness and how much fun that was.
Starch Madness. Yeah. I feel woefully unprepared to talk about it because it was just a lot of fun. It was good to see our friends at the Big Sky Conference again. Fun to be among the fans. I made it a point to try to move around the arena, especially during the later games of the tournament, especially when I couldn't find a place to sit courtside that didn't require me to sit either like crowd myself with all the media.
Did a team steal your seat?
No. So like there were courtside seats, but then they would have the bands.
Okay.
And then they would have courtside seats for people who paid for seats.
You don't want to make any fuss with Idaho, right?
No.
Okay. All right.
No. I was trying to be as inconspicuous as possible. And so like you could sit courtside, like you could sit like with all the other photographers on the sidelines, right? Mm-hmm. But I wasn't about, like, I had visions of myself getting beamed in the head with a basketball. And I was not about that life.
Look out, the potatoes coming.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I have good reaction time. I don't think I have that good a reaction time. So I just kind of moved around. I was present for the Montana State women winning the Starch Madness Championship.
That was a wild game. The end of that was insane.
I think I had about 7 coronary events during it.
That's right.
No, it was really good. I've never gotten to be there for like a game that intense. So I was sitting up in the stands during it because I was there. Like, I was like, okay, I'm going to take some pictures and then I'm just going to watch the game. Like, if I want to take a picture or something, I got my phone. I'll take some videos. I'll take some pictures with my phone. It's perfectly cromulent. And then by the end, I was so, like, just locked in that I wasn't even thinking about taking pictures.
Why would you? Yeah.
Yeah. There was also the part of, like, you don't have to create content out of everything. You can just enjoy what you're watching. So that's
one cool thing. Like when we go to events and we're on like the sidelines, it's like you can feel the actual intensity of the game.
Yeah.
Like in the air, which is actually insane. Like sometimes in the stands you can feel it, but like just being right next to the players on the sidelines is an incredible experience. And again, I thank everybody that followed our silly little account to allow us to do stuff like this, because it's amazing. And you know, as a Montana State alum living in Missoula, I'm sure that felt kind of sweet watching the what I dubbed the potato putback for the winner.
Is that what we're calling it?
That's what I called it. You know, I think Roger called
the community calls it.
I think Roger called it something the tater tip, but it was more of a two-hand. But you know,
tater tip sounds.
Again, we're back to the Ferrari thing.
Okay. Yeah, we got some innuendos happening here. Yeah.
Tater tip sounds like something I'd serve at my top that ass.
Just the tater tip.
Just the tater tip.
Yeah, this is something that I will not be looking up on Urban Dictionary.
Don't do it. Well, now I have to.
You do not.
I mean,
no.
No.
I mean, you can ruin your search algorithm, but I'm not gonna.
I mean, he's already done that, so he's just wondering why his Instagram Reels is just a mess. So
okay, time out. Someone on our Instagram Reels has to be liking things that are sketchy for us to get stuff, and it's just you and me on there, and I know it ain't me.
Sure.
I don't have Wild Pitches favorited on there.
I don't either.
I did visit.
This is what is in my suggested page.
I mean,
that's what my suggested page looks like.
The tetas hat, yes.
Gentle listener, it's the titties hat.
Yes.
From my experience, you don't actually need to do anything nefarious to get Instagram to start recommending.
Yeah, it'll just be recommending stuff.
It just recommends you shit. Yes.
Yeah, Instagram just knows you're a dude.
No, I haven't. When
it's like you're a dude running a sports account and you want to see this.
Yeah, like when I tried out using Instagram, it still tried to show me like women in swimsuits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do anything for Instagram to be like, this is what you
get
want.
that?
No, this morning I got a thing. I haven't checked my Instagram in a while. I'm not on it for let's just say political reasons. And this morning it sent me a so and so posted a reel. I'm like, I've never heard of this person, and it was like, you can sell your soul in Fortnite. They're coming after our children. It's dark-sided.
Oh, so that's what
this is
get.
my Instagram.
That's what I
my
get.
Personal one. It's a bunch of Nate Bargatze.
It's a bunch. It's a bunch of big sweaty dudes, from what I can tell. Okay.
On my side.
My suggested page is just photography stuff. Like my friend sends me funny videos and I watch them, and that's all I do on Instagram. And sometimes I post hey, I take pictures and you can pay me to do so.
We also don't interact with accounts that are sports accounts that tend to favor things like that. So I'm not sure how it ends up on our suggested stuff.
I think it must be just we run sports account. That's it.
Yeah. That's what it thinks that you want, because the Instagram algorithm is horrible.
My Instagram is like, here are people mixing different paint colors together. Here are different varieties of Guinness. Here are a bunch of different kinds of tattoos. And that's it.
Mine is just Nate Bargatze doing stand-up. So we're fine.
Mine is a couple of D&D jokes, some musical theater, and a guy who has been doing a shot-for-shot remake of the A&E Pride and Prejudice series as a one-man. Which is spectacularly good. And I need to start sending you things from that Pit Girl, since Pit Girl is the only person I send Instagram things to.
Okay. So, Bridget, anything else for Starch Madness that you want to talk about?
No. I will have a much longer and less rambly post about this, along with a lot of the pictures that I took. There were hundreds and hundreds. I'll try to pare it down. I'll try to be a good editor for myself this time. But that will be up on the Beehive at some point, hopefully soon.
So now we're talking about our March Madness preview, and we realize what y'all want to hear and what we want to hear basically is just the 12 through 16 seeds. Those are the interesting thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would like to, can I mention though that I managed to make everyone think we're conspiracy theorists now? Because after North Carolina ends up in one of the first 4 spots, they're gonna play, who's it? It's not Mount St. Mary's.
San Diego State.
San Diego State, thank you.
In Dayton.
In Dayton, in the first 4. And I just remembered that the chair of the tournament committee is the UNC athletic director.
The fix is in.
Funny how those things work.
Of course they're not. As everyone reminded me, well, they're not allowed to be in the room or vote, right? So that's why I'm
sorry you hate fun, followers.
Clearly when that person leaves the room, even though they're the chair of the committee, no one gives them an extra bit of credibility or anything to their team.
No, I mean, they walk out the door and they wink out of existence because the committee doesn't have object permanence. Everyone knows that.
Peekaboo. Where'd I go? Where's your nose?
Oh God, what happened to Jordan? Where's Jordan?
Wow, what happened to North Carolina?
Picker's gone. No, they're all leaving. You guys are alone. This is my nightmare.
See, I'm imagining the selection committee using like the cone of silence technology from the Get Smart series.
Perfect.
If any,
they're using the Men in Black Red to Flash thing to like wipe people's minds of all North Carolina related content.
Did you flashy thing me, Commish?
Hey, girl.
What if the UNC guy is a weeping angel?
Possible.
Don't blink.
I mean,
or the silence, the one that you forget if you look away.
Keep cooking.
The silence. Yeah.
You're onto something.
This is just one of those things where, you know what? It's useless. I don't want to argue about who the 35th best team in the country is. Like, it's not that interesting of an argument, honestly. So I'm okay just not giving it any air. But everyone thought that we were like, poor game, sickos committee. This is just a conspiracy argument. Poor game, sirs. Oh, come on.
Okay, but also, so what if it was? Fight me.
It's also just a statement of fact, so it's fine.
Right. All I did was point out. I didn't make any connections. I'm like the best alt-right account that you know. I'm just asking.
You're putting the pins in, and everybody else has shown up with the red string. Bring your own red string to the Sickos Committee account.
I come from an old school bit of conspiracy fear-mongering where you don't draw the connections for the listeners because that makes them feel smarter if they just do it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You just I like that idea. I just put the pins in the boards and everyone else comes along with their own string. Sure,
you're a conspiracy facilitator.
That's what I like. Yes. Ooh, on the resume. That sounds like a good resume line. How long have I been? I've been a conspiracy facilitator for 20 years. I'm a professional. Okay, let's talk about these 16 seeds, these 12 to 16
You can lead a horse
seeds,
to water, but you can't make him believe there's fluoride in it.
That's good. One of is that good.
Took Jordan out.
I don't know why that got me so good. Okay, sorry.
Oh my God, guys, we killed Jordan.
Oh, okay. Hey, speaking of kitties that are going to get killed, do you see where Kenny Pickett's going?
I don't want to talk about it.
He's going to the Browns.
I know. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, he can be part of the long jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like a rune stone at this point.
CVS.
Okay. But imagine how much of a legend he'd be if he turns that franchise around.
Every one of the names before him thought that.
It would also be very funny.
Oh, yes.
If they beat the Steelers this year with him. That's all I have to say.
A lot of conflicted Pitt fans in the stands.
Yeah.
Okay, Grish. Tell me about some of these 12 to 16 seeds.
All right. I cooked this up in the last hour because, as everybody knows, the bracket was just released. So here we go. In the South region, we have UC San Diego. And folks, they're really, really good. I'm not pleased with this draw for my personal team. So
This is one of the spicy. This and the next one down, 2 of the spiciest first round upset picks.
I would say so. Yeah. So UC San Diego is a new Division I team. They're in the Big West, which is basically all the not UCLA, Cal division of Cal State and UC schools and Hawaii. So they won that conference. Usually that's UC Irvine, but they beat UC Irvine this year a couple of times. It's their first ever tournament. They just moved up, like I mentioned.
First year they were eligible.
Yes, first year they were eligible. Top 60 in KenPom offense and defense. And their best player, now that I'm live, I practiced this a few times. Now that I'm live, I completely forgot how to pronounce it. I think it's Iniwa Tate Jones, which is the Maori word for rainbow. He's from New Zealand. Cool. They're really good. They're playing Michigan, if that was unclear. I know we have like 7 people on the podcast, so I'll say my allegiances. On Thursday in Denver. And they really have a chance.
I think I am so overwhelmed that a team will never be on the did not make the tournament list. Because the first year they were eligible, they made it. That feels so
pretty awesome, isn't it?
So good. Now this next team can eat shit.
Yeah, the next team is Yale. They're quietly building a bit of a dynasty in Ivy League sort of stuff. I mean, they beat Baylor a few years ago. They beat Auburn last year, and they're playing Texas A&M also in Denver. So you got a 12-5 and a 4-13 back to back. That are just ripe for people to pick the upset in one or both of them. So Yale challenged themselves this year. They played that weird thing in Lethbridge. I think that was them. And that we talked about at the beginning of the year, they played Purdue. They played Minnesota. So they started 6-6, but they finished 22-7. They only lost 1 game in the Ivies, and they have some really good guards. Their best shooter is Pulakidis. And their Ivy League Player of the Year is Bez Embang, and he's just a really, really good player. So, they're going to give Texas A&M all they can handle. I think I would pick not to speak from bias, but I would pick that one and not the other one, not the Michigan one. But clearly I'm biased. But
I saw Michigan do the wildest thing I've ever seen at the end of a basketball game. And it was the semifinal game against Maryland, where. Yeah. It wasn't a last-minute half-court shot. It was someone taking the ball straight down the court and just laying it up with 0.1 seconds left.
No one from Maryland stopped him. He just ran straight down the court and laid it in.
You might want to...
What a vibe.
Anybody there. Literally anyone.
You might want to play some defense there, Maryland.
I was like, is anybody going to foul? No? Okay.
No,
he's just going.
Nope, he's just in. All right, shall we move to the next team?
Yes.
All right, our next team in the South region playing Iowa State is Lipscomb out of the A-Sun. They're the Bison. So I brought you all the logo here. I think this is the same logo as Howard and the Bills, and they just kind of riff off of it. Like the same designer has just created like the same buffalo for Morgan State, Howard, all these teams that have the Bison. I think Morgan State doesn't have the Bison, actually.
Morgan State's the Bears.
Yes, sorry. But it looks really similar. But Lipscomb's really good. They're 7th in the NCAA in free throw percentage and 4th in like non-steal turnovers. So I forget if they force turnovers or like don't turn it over. I'm going to double check that. But yeah, does anybody have thoughts on the logo?
It's good. I like it. It is very reminiscent of other Bison logos. Like I feel like Bucknell also looks like this.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Sorry, I'm a little fried. I've been working.
I mean, yes, it does, but at the same time, the way they did the shadow on this makes this Bison look like it has a pompadour, and I'm here for that.
It reminds me of it's the University of Saskatchewan, I believe.
Might be
their Bison? Or is it Alberta? Is it a different one? U Sports Bison mascot. It's the Manitoba Bisons.
I'm butchering the word Saskatchewan in Google right now.
It's Manitoba.
Cool.
Beth, I dropped Manitoba in the chat. I love the Manitoba Bison so much. He looks like such a fancy lad.
That is... Wow.
It looks like he has a jaunty scarf and a monocle.
Manitoba has some very underrated logos. Them, the Wheat Kings, the Manitoba Moose.
Oh, I just found Howard's mascots, and there's a lady bison.
Oh, Wheat Kings is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
Oh dear. Quick, someone post some home field stuff.
See, the thing about it is those two bison do not look like they are the same species at the same time.
Nope, not at all.
No, they really don't. Like, I guess technically they're both cows, but like, are they?
I think Lady Bison's vacant stare is what's doing it for me here.
I mean, the lipstick is really not doing her any
What's really fun
favors.
is if you consider that the eyes are not the eyes and you just look at the snout and the mouth and convince yourself that the nostrils are eyes, it gets real upsetting real fast.
Oh no, I can't unsee it.
Ha-ha! This is my superpower, ruining mascots.
It's like Belly Belt, the Pokemon, where the thing that you think are eyes are not actually its eyes.
No, you know what the snout lips look like if you consider the snout eyes?
Oh no.
The puddles emoji.
Yeah.
Yep. It does look like puddles.
That's where I was going. Yep. This is just Puddles wearing a cow suit.
Well, and why are boy bison's teeth like that?
Why are any mascot's teeth like that?
But like this one specifically is really upsetting.
It just kind of looks like they yassified the other one. Like, what are we doing here?
It looks like a snake tongue should come out from between the teeth and the odd gap they have made in the middle.
It does look a little reptilian, you're right.
Beth, I found, or someone posted, I think it was Smoking Musket, posted they found an Iowa garden gnome, like a herky garden gnome. But the gnome itself also has two mouths. So it still keeps the herky thing, yeah.
I have a couple of garden gnomes. Maybe I need to get one. I can put it next to the other two that I gave to Puddles last Christmas.
Okay, Grish, Bryant.
All right, up next is Bryant. The hang on, in the America East. There's too many conferences. I'm fried.
I agree.
Completely
I believe they're America East, or maybe they're CAA now.
They are. Usually this
moved
is
up
Vermont.
from the NEC.
Yeah, usually this is
right.
Vermont territory. They just moved from the NEC, which like kind of fell apart because a bunch of teams moved down. A few teams moved to.
The NEC is not falling apart yet, sir.
It's not.
It's fine.
They added Chicago State, so they're in good shape.
I mean, the standard bearer is the standard. Let's just put it that way with the NEC this year.
Yes, that's it. So yeah, they're in the America East. They are coached by Phil Martelli Jr., who is the son of Philly and St. Joe's legend Phil Martelli. Shout out to Hawk. Oh, keep flapping. Everybody flap.
Caw-caw.
And yeah, they were good a couple of years ago when they were in the NEC. Then their coach did some weird stuff that was, I think, illegal, and so he got fired. Yeah, he did some I think they were pretty bad crimes, actually. And then they kind of pieced together this team. They're playing Michigan State, so I wish them the best of luck. But yeah, they are second in the country in blocks per game, but I'm thinking that's because of competition and that Michigan State has a lot of big guys. So like the strength that they have in mid-major might not translate to playing, a Big Ten team that has like four bigs that are over 6'10". But yeah, they were fun. I was hoping Maine would make it, to be totally honest. That would have been really cool. I don't know if folks have seen their gym. The student section it's like one of those old school gyms where the seats are above the court. And so you're like kind of in a mezzanine sort of level. And then the student section is like above that. It's like something out of like WPA building sort of vibes. So they're cool. Hopefully they'll make the tournament in the coming years. But yeah, that's Bryant.
It is called The Pit.
The Pit. Yeah. And
hell yeah.
Just the Pit. That's it. So next we have the one of the first four games where 2 16 seeds will play each other in Dayton. And I believe this is the one that's on Tuesday. And the first team here is Alabama State, the Hornets, SWAC, and they are playing St. Francis U, which we don't have to clarify anymore because St. Francis Brooklyn is no longer amongst the D1 ranks.
Oh, so that's right.
They're playing each other. But I put it just in case folks did not remember that. So Alabama State, the Hornets, 10-1 in their last 10 games in the conference tournament. They beat the 4 seed. Then the 1 seed had gotten upset, so they played the 8 seed. Then they played the 2 seed. And their best player is CJ Hines. But the interesting team here is St. Francis U. I mean, every team is interesting that makes a tournament. It's an amazing accomplishment for every institution. But to focus on St. Francis, the Red Flash is out of Loretto, which I think is in the middle of nowhere, but I'm not.
It is.
Beth lives within driving distance of Loretto, which is how you know it is in fact in the middle.
I drive past it to work every day.
I figured it was in the middle of nowhere. They're playing each other. So they are under 500. They're 16 and 17. 20 teams have, besides them, so now 21 total, have made the NCAA tournament with a losing record. Does anybody want to not look at the note sheet and tell me what you think the record of those teams is?
I saw.
I mean, they got to be winless, except maybe like one is one like a playing game or something. Like 1 in 72 or something. Does that count?
Guesses?
I am looking at the show notes.
Right. Anybody else who's not looking at the show notes?
Maybe 2 of 1. I don't know. I'm going to guess it's not many.
They're 0 and 20.
Oh, no.
Okay. But I think St. Francis is going to win, and it's going to be 1 and 21. So we'll have one in a row.
This is by far not the worst record a team has made this tournament with.
No. Did you look up the NCAA spreadsheet, Jordan?
I'm seeing 2 and 18, 11 and 18.
I remember 11 and 18. I think that was like a Florida team, like Florida International.
And it was an 11 and 18 UCF in 96, and 11 and 18 FIU in 95.
Yeah, I remember Florida International was one of them, but I did not remember Central Florida in 1996.
The worst record I can find is in 55, where Bradley and Oklahoma City made the tournament at Bradley made it at 7 and 19. Oklahoma City made it at 9 and 17.
Wow.
But if we're talking like modern records, the worst I can see is 11 wins.
My best argument for why St. Francis is going to win this game is that their band director, who is a friend of mine, dresses like this for the games.
Oh, it's great.
It's spectacular.
More band directors should have to wear wear the blazer with the epaulets and everything, like gloves. What do you call it?
The sunglasses are what finished this look for me.
It looks like the bow tie. Hotels.com mascot.
He looks very mascotty. He and the Friar could do some damage together, I feel.
Yeah. Have we seen the
All right, Jordan. What do you think he is? Do you think he's a brass player? Do you think he's a woodwind, or do you think he's a percussionist?
He's a brass player.
This is a trombone.
Yeah, that's definitely like lower brass vibes.
He's a woodwind.
Low woodwind then. He plays low reeds.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. Well, that doesn't count then.
Is this a Barry Sax? Barry Sax final answer.
He's a tenor, but
close enough. Yeah. Okay. No, he's a saxophone player. Strike 1 against him being a woodwind player, and 2, he plays a low sax. That's also strike 2 against playing a woodwind.
I will fight you.
I will not abide this woodwind slander. Thank you.
As a bassoon player who's a real woodwind.
Excuse you.
I mean, I just wish there were more like positions or roles in society where you could dress like this. Like, imagine if we dressed up like this to podcast. How much better do you think the podcast would be?
But then I can't podcast in my
I wouldn't be able to see my screen anymore, but I would look very cool.
Kamish, you're a non-musician. I'm going to ask you this question. Name the 5 instruments in a woodwind quintet.
That's so mean. You apologize.
I mean, why? How is this mean?
Pick some woodwinds.
Answer the question, Kamish.
I mean, like quintet is it's 5, right?
Yep.
Okay. So woodwind typically is gonna have to have like a reed-based instrument.
Yeah.
All right. Do I have to get specific enough on like what type of
I'll give you family.
Okay. All right. I don't have to be. All right.
No.
Give me a clarinet.
Got a clarinet.
Okay. Give me a saxophone.
No saxophones that would.
No sax. Okay. What about a piccolo?
Give a flute. I'll give you a flute.
Okay. Flute, piccolo. All right. So saxophone's not there. Clarinet. How
about your double reeds?
Double. I don't.
Those are the ones that look like you played them through straws, either bendy or otherwise.
This is leading me to.
I am once again asking the nerd to shut up.
This is leading me to a bassoon.
Got a bassoon.
Not a bassoon. Okay.
Yes, a bassoon. Yes, not a bassoon. Yes.
Okay. So we got bassoon, flute, and clarinet. I'm running out of instruments in my head at this point. Jesus.
How about oboe? Does oboe seem okay?
I mean,
Objection. That's a leading question.
That is leading.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it is the fifth instrument is.
Yeah, the fifth one's gonna fuck him. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
So we have flute, oboe, clarinet, bassoon. Makes total sense, right?
Yeah.
Those are all
Woodwind quintet. Absolutely.
Okay. And
look at all those woodwinds.
Saxophone was a latecomer. Maybe we add, Kamish, you know what instrument we add to make it a woodwind quintet?
Make it a quintet. You added a euphonium.
Oh,
you're
so
far
close.
wrong.
You're so close. We had a French horn.
Oh, I knew there was gonna be some stupid horn up in there.
This is the stupidest horn too.
We had a horn.
Like as soon as you said woodwind quintet, this is
the one that you put your hand in and get spit all over your hand.
Yes.
I mean, the spit does have to travel a grip of distance to get there, but
what is the joke about horn players? Hate the way they kiss you, love the way they hold you.
Yeah.
Good. Very good.
Okay.
Very, very good.
Where are we at?
Before Grish was so rudely interrupted.
We're talking about Loretto being burned down for the 40th time. If Loretto gets a tournament win,
we're on to the West bracket.
Loretto again.
All right.
Yeah, we're 1/4 of the way through.
Jesus.
Beth, what has to happen for it to be worth the time for me to drive out and meet you in Loretto? What is it? Why are we meeting in Loretto? What has occurred?
If St. Francis makes the Sweet 16, you guys have to meet in Loretto. How about that?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
All right.
I'll do that. I can't think of a single place we could watch the game in Loretto. We're gonna have to knock on dorm rooms and ask someone to let us in.
They don't even have one bar.
What?
No, but we could stop at the monastery and see if the Sisters of Teresa of Lisieux are watching it, I guess.
They will be. They will be.
Whoa, this is wow. It's just
Oh yeah, no. SFU has a larger enrollment than the population of Loretto.
Loretto Pub and Grill. Oh wow, the food at Loretto Pub and Grill actually looks good.
Oh, they have a pub now?
See, they have a bar.
Yeah, that's a bar.
There's a gas station. We could
the
go
fourth
there
photo in the Loretto Bar and Grill Google Photos is of Jello shots. It's definitely a bar.
Hell yeah.
Okay, the West region.
All right, we're up to Drake. I hope everybody's looking at the show notes so that they can see Griff II in his chair.
Yes,
Griff vibing at the they're the Bulldogs.
He's the best one.
Look at him and his floopy little face.
And they're playing Missouri.
I love him.
So this is, I think, other than UC San Diego, the best story we have here. Probably about the same. Their coach left for West Virginia and took his son with him, DeVries. So it's an entirely new roster. Like every player that plays minutes is brand new. They hired a Division II coach who brought a few players with him from Division II. And last year they went 28-7, and this year they went 30-3. So they actually got better than they were last year when they hired when their coach left for a Big 12 job. So it's just some unbelievable stuff. The coach wears a shirt and tie, like he's a social studies teacher in the middle school. It's really cute. All the band guys wear it. Some of the fans are wearing it. It's just really cool. I'm very happy for them that they kind of kept their level because they've been one of the most consistent mid-majors in the country. Like they're reaching that St. Mary's, Gonzaga sort of level, especially now that it's been multiple coaches that aren't in the same tree because this guy's brand new. And their best player is named Bennett Sturtz. He's very lanky, just like a tall dude, kind of Slenderman vibes, and he's really good at basketball. So I'd highly recommend watching the Drake Missouri game. I think that people know Drake now, so it's not going to be one of those I'm getting this kind of on the sly on my bracket pool. But you might still get it if you pick the Bulldogs. So yeah, I recommend watching that game.
I feel like people might actually that's interesting. I wonder if the name Drake is worth more people picking you or less people picking you. Because I feel like people are going to want to pick it for the jokes that are easy to make, but also they might be like, oh, I don't like Drake, the rapper, so I'm not going to pick Drake, the school. I don't know. Might be some value there if you're filling out a bracket.
Potentially. Other thoughts on Drake? Make sure if you're not...
Right. I'm just listening to Not Like Us in my head right now. It's fine.
I mean, honestly, they're lucky. I don't see any specific matchups in this bracket that lead to specific jokes.
Yeah,
right?
Thankfully Lamar did not make the tournament. So
yeah, Lamar didn't make the tournament. UTEP didn't make the tournament. So it could have been worse.
Yeah.
Our next team up is the Mountain West Auto Bid, who would not have made it if they didn't win the Mountain West, by the way. It would have been them or Boise State. That game was yesterday. And they're playing Memphis. They're at the 12, and Memphis is the 5. That should be a really fun game as well. That's a toss-up. I don't really want to say that I think Colorado State will definitely win because they started the year kind of shaky. They had some really tough games. Like they played like a semi-neutral site game against, I think, Ole Miss.
Did I see that the ACC got the same number of teams in as the Mountain West?
Yeah, you did. You did.
And then 14 SEC teams to the point where they had to split them up, make sure there were no more than 4 teams in a conference.
Yeah. Four teams.
14.
How many teams are in the SEC, Pick Girl?
More than 14.
I'll take the answer.
Not that many more than 14.
That's also a correct answer. Not that many more.
16? I believe
I believe they're at 16. That makes sense. Yes.
Yeah, only LSU and South Carolina didn't make it. So
it's going to be very funny when none of them make it out of the first weekend.
That would be amazing. But yeah,
I do want to take this moment to say that if St. Francis gets out of Dayton and then beats Auburn, I won't even be mad. That shit.
Oh no, that would be wonderful. I'll go on campus and raid the campus bookstore and get you all St. Francis merch.
We meet at Loretto Pub and Grill.
Beth,
I get those jello shots.
If they beat Auburn, Beth, you're gonna have to steal Frankie the Fryer. Like,
okay.
I mean, he's gonna have to show up behind you in a podcast video.
Just imagining him looming in front of the bookshelf.
I bet if you asked nice enough, he would make an appearance on the podcast.
You are asking me to welcome Frankie the Fryer into my bedroom. I don't know how I feel about that. Actually, no, I know exactly how I feel about that.
You could record in a different room if you're home.
No, it'd be better if Frankie just walking in the background, like brushing his teeth, just hanging out.
You think he has like a comically large toothbrush?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I figured everyone had seen that, so I didn't put that in the show notes.
I did want to give a shout out to Colorado State. After they won their tourney, what did they do? What is the true mark of champions? They went to Buc-ee's, baby.
Buc-ee's.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
They went to Buc-ee's with the trophy. I don't know which Buc-ee's they went to because they played in Las Vegas. Like, where is that Buc-ee's at, man?
Is there a Buc-ee's near their campus in Fort Collins?
There's a Buc-ee's in Colorado, isn't there?
There's one in Fort Collins, I believe.
There's one in Fort Collins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Or maybe it's close.
It's somewhere, like, I know it's in Colorado because one of the other Sickos people has been there.
In Johnstown, Colorado.
I'm gonna drive down to Buc-ee's.
Yeah, Berthoud.
I like that.
Berthoud, Colorado has a Buc-ee's.
I see one in Johnstown as well. Okay, so there are Buc-ee's.
Multiple. Buckeye? No, wait, that's something else.
No,
that's something else.
And Bucky, one Bucky, a singular Bucky.
I don't even know where Johnstown, Colorado is. Oh.
To me, that just sounds like a piece of Pennsylvania that has become unstuck in time.
Yeah. Johnstown looks like it's off of like.
I think that's where Fage yogurt is made. Does that sound right?
It's a little bit north of Denver. Okay, so it's in between Fort Collins and Denver. Okay,
so probably that one.
Yeah, that would most likely. There was another one in Colorado?
Yeah, that was a good pull by me. I feel good about that. Johnstown, New York, Fage Dairy, the Greek yogurt.
There's 2 in Colorado or just 1?
I don't know. I think there's just 1 right now.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, if they're coming back from Vegas,
they're
coming back on. I mean,
you drive up 25.
70 and then up 25. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yep.
Do you call it the 25 if you're in Colorado?
No, that's how that's how you identify yourself as being from California and get everybody to hate you.
California thing.
Okay.
Yeah. We're the only people who say the something.
For 2 years because everybody says it that way.
25.
Would you call it the 5 if you were in Oregon?
Again, no, that's a California thing. It's I-5.
It's I-5.
I-5.
Anywhere else, it's just the name of the highway. Like here, it's I-90. In Seattle, it's I-5. Well, I guess some people do call it the 405, but
That one has lore, I feel like.
Yeah.
405.
I just want to remind everyone that I've given up editing this podcast for Lent. I'm still posting it.
Which means after Easter you have to go back.
Fuck it, we're doing it live.
Yep.
Okay, instead of editing, Arthur, what you can do is I'm gonna put this in your head. Basically run another recording track over this while you're sitting there, and then just go over.
That would be great. That's what I was thinking.
That's not editing, that's live recording. That's layering.
I like how we're rules lawyering Lent.
Still feels like editing work.
Also, tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day, so you get a day off from Lent anyway.
Also, Sundays aren't technically Sundays aren't in Lent.
Yes,
Man, that's bullshit, man. Don't be cheating.
That's
more
not
real.
That's real.
These are the rules as set down by Cathol in time immemorial.
This is your regularly scheduled reminder that if you would like to eat beaver for Lent, you can.
And gator.
It is a
gator
fish.
and capybara, but don't eat capybara because they carry disease, apparently.
Also, why would you do that? They're friend-shaped.
I don't know.
People eat guinea
the
pigs.
podcat is a fish. I will ask.
Guinea pig actually tastes good. It does. It tastes good.
All right.
I need like a cigar.
No, it's a delicacy in South America. It's true.
I have I'm trying to think of like a comedian with a cigar joke about eating beaver, but I can't do it.
Again, as your HR representative, let's just move on.
This. I don't.
Number 14, UNCW, the Seahawks.
I don't like having an HR representative that isn't me.
They're playing Texas Tech. So in preparation for this, I was instructed to look up mascots, and I knew that they were the Seahawks, but I Googled, does UNCW have a live mascot? And two things came up. Does anybody want to do a dramatic reading of the second one? It's hilarious.
I will do the dramatic reading, but first let me click the link to the thing that just says this website.
Yeah, everybody open that.
Redirecting you to uncwsports.com.
We're gonna
the dramatic read is not from this website. There's multiple things to discuss with this. And then we can talk about the actual game.
It is an interesting story, apparently.
Is it?
A 5-man team.
It has resembled a parrot, an eagle, and a falcon. Those are not the same.
They're all birds.
You know what this is based off of? Iowa Pre-Flight. Literally, they were the Iowa Pre-Flight Seahawks. And they chose the name because it had like an excellent athletic. Wow. Huh.
Oh, the coach, Bernie Bierman, the Minnesota Gophers coach. Okay.
Iowa Pre-Flight comes up once again.
Wow.
Everybody needs to also look up the old logos, which are all incredible. It's a Seahawk in a hat. It's a Seahawk landing on its prey. It's a Seahawk with a wave in it, and now the modern one, which I actually do like.
I like Seahawk with a wave. I'll drop it in chat for you
Really
guys.
good. It's very 90s.
I really like it.
I like the new one. The new one kind of gives NBA expansion franchise, but it's good.
I know it's supposed to be a wave, but to me it looks like the Seahawk is swirling a cape around itself, like ha ha.
Or are they like a fiddly mustache?
Yeah, it really does look like that. Like he's a 90s Seahawk is up to something.
Also, the 1977 one looks like the old Eagles logo with the
Go Birds.
Go Birds. Aaron Go Birds, by the way. With the eagle holding the football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Their old muscly, like sailory one is so good. He looks like Popeye just got off shore leave and not wearing pants.
Mm-hmm.
All right, home field.
I like the fact that like he was be Navy hatted, and then they took his hat away, and then he got his hat back. This is a rarity in logos. I feel that like once you have a hat and you've lost your like World War II or post World War II hat, you don't get it back.
Folks, they've done it again. They already have the wave one as a sweatshirt on Home Field's website, and a black T-shirt that I might be ordering in the mail tomorrow of the sailor hat guy, and it just says Midnight Madness with midnight spelled with the T, and it's this guy walking.
Hell yeah!
They've done it again,
folks. Home field apparel for the softest, comfiest collegiate apparel. Pick girl, go ahead.
I have a dramatic
yes.
before you do the podcast business.
That wasn't even intentional, by the way.
UNCW Seahawk is a mythical creature born from the sun who lives in the Atlantic Ocean as a fish. During the sports season, the Seahawk is able to shapeshift into the form of a bird to feast on the opponents.
The hell?
Home field apparel.
There's a mystery box going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
That's right.
You get 2 Blue Bloods and 2 Bracket Busters in your mystery box for $100 dues. $100 dues, you get 4 T-shirts. That's a pretty damn good deal.
That's a pretty damn good deal.
By the way, what Pit Girl just read is just on the Wikipedia, and there's no citation. So I think some random person just wrote that on the Wikipedia.
It's perfect. It's canon now.
I mean,
Home Field also has another UNC Wilmington thing that I love. It is looks like a goose wearing shoes and carrying a briefcase, and it says, "Take me to UNCW."
Oh, yes.
So I may be increasing my UNCW gear from 0 to 1 or 2.
I appreciate the intellectual honesty of looking to yourself and saying, what is a Seahawk? And everyone looking around the room and saying, I have no idea. And then just running with that. Bless you, UNCW.
It's a bird. Except when it's a fish.
Yeah, apparently.
Does it have arms? Who can say?
Use our offer code, yes, ha ha ha, yes, 3 ha's for 15% off your first order. If you want to support us, check out our link tree on our Twitter and Instagram and Bluesky profiles for various discounts. We got some new things on there.
Yeah.
We also have our Patreon and Discord. $5 a month gets you access to our Discord and access to our special episodes of the podcast. We're taking a break this week, but next week we will probably have part 4 of our drought series coming out, where we end Northwestern's 34-game losing streak. Also, our merch store, sickoscommittee.org, our YouTube, our Instagram, our Twitch, and shout out to Message Board Geniuses podcast. They go the places we refuse to go. Okay, Grish, where are we at?
15 seed.
We should probably mention that UNCW is actually a good basketball team. They went 27-7.
Ooh.
And,
I'm just mad they took out our 12-seeded beloved Delaware Blue Hens still.
Yeah, that was
upset about that. But fine, UNCW Seahawks. Be good.
Yeah. Congratulations to UNCW, but that would have been pretty cool to have.
I mean, that's the 2021 CBI champions.
Mm-hmm.
UNCW.
And leaving for Conference USA, Delaware. So, folks, it's time to get your trash cans out. Omaha has made the NCAA tournament for the first time out of the Summit League. Unfortunately for them, they're playing St. John's
that is
well, but you know,
I believe.
Yeah. So
that is some. What region are they in?
The
West.
Okay,
but the
first St. John's Power is kind of far away, right?
Well, the West denotes where they do the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8. So I think it was in Providence, but I'm.
Oh my God! God. Patino's home.
That's just the shortest summer ride away, baby.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I'm checking if it's in.
Good luck, Omaha. I mean, we're rooting for you.
That was just a guess.
Trash can.
Yeah.
Trash can.
Omaha.
They don't call him a trash can. Let's go.
It's true.
So they're actually I've watched a bunch of their games because our friend was there, and the trash can stuff is amazing. They're 44th in the country in 3-point percentage. They started the year 4-9. They've really and it's a good league. I mean, for them to do that, it's just very impressive. So we're rooting hard for them, and hopefully they will take out some trash cans along the way. They had to bring their own trash cans to the conference tournament, which was absolutely hilarious. The conference
those were theirs? That's great.
Yeah, the conference tournament staff was like, yeah, you can't destroy every trash can in the arena, please. Just bring your own.
At night to be a trash can that you brought yourself.
Yeah. Motivational speech. The 16 seed in this conference is playing the Florida Gators. They are the Spartans. Behold, green and gold.
No, Norfolk State.
They don't have. They only take twos. They're really bad at shooting threes, so they don't have the oh, if they hit 12 threes and Florida can't hit anything, they'll win. They don't have the size to handle Florida. I mean, it's a 16 versus a 1. It's only happened once.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Norfolk State is kind of at a disadvantage because they're going to be playing in an arena that only has 1 3-point line.
Yeah.
Compared to the Norfolk Scope Arena that has 4.
Mm-hmm. And
they have 4 3-point lines.
One is no longer used at all.
One is no longer used. It's
one
still
is no longer used. They expanded the women's 3-point.
Yes. So they have the high school, the women's, the old women's now is the same as the men's, then the men's college, and then the NBA because they want to bring back the Virginia Squires.
Yeah, you have to keep the legacy there.
Of the ABA.
Yeah.
I think they can add a few more lines.
This honestly was one of the better Norfolk teams. It's like one of the best MEAC teams of recent years. And their best player does average 18 points a game, so maybe he'll go off and they'll make it interesting. But no promises there, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel bad for the team that they're playing against. Was it who were they playing against?
South Carolina State that fouled accidentally.
Oh, yeah. And so like Roger Sherman had noted that in front of the scoreboard they put in temporary like suites so he couldn't see the scoreboard. So he's working on a theory that he couldn't see, like, because they had a scramble come back in like 8 points and really quick. And so he couldn't see they were actually tied at that point, which is
that's what happened.
Crazy.
It was brutal, and he felt, I mean, obviously terrible. It was similar to the lane violation thing with UNC. That
fucking thing.
That was also pretty brutal. But hey, it didn't cost UNC, so good for them. Anyway, the 13th seed is Akron, the Zips, baby. They're playing Arizona. Hey. They're really good. As usual, they almost lost in the title game to Miami of Ohio, who shoots a lot of threes. So they hit all their threes in the first half, and then they got tired and didn't hit any threes in the second half. So Akron came all the way back and won. I think they were down like 20. They beat Kent State twice, so shout out to them. They get, I don't know if they're the basketball version of the wagon wheel, but they get bragging rights. And that rivalry, especially on the basketball side, was really kind of nasty the last few years. There was a lot of like social media posts at both teams. It was pretty bad. So yeah, that's something to mention. They went 17-1 in the MAC. They only lost to St. Mary's in California by 9. So they're playing Arizona, who started the year kind of tough. I mean, I had them on the like sickos list when we did kind of that midseason check-in, but Arizona's really figured it out. They made the final of the Big 12. So honestly, I think this will be a really good game. They played UCLA tough a few years ago in the NCAA tournament. That comes to mind. Their offense is good. They have some good bigs. So I think that'll be a fun game. I wrote it on my list of teams to mention that could be upset picking kind of happy, but I just think it'll be a really fun game regardless of what happens.
I hope so. I'm kind of rooting for the Zips here. But, Arizona's tough. And, Caleb Love, good. But, yeah, it's a tough draw. But this could be one of those, believe in them action.
It's in Seattle, so it's a long flight for both teams. Obviously, much longer coming from Ohio. But, it should be fun. All right, 14 seed, the Starch Madness winner, your Montana Grizz. I'm sure Bridget's thrilled to talk about Montana.
No, I actually am. That was a really, really fun game to watch. It was a great game. And I'm very much Montana versus everybody, so go fucking Grizz.
Take it on, and I'll fill in whatever you don't cover with the championship game, which was amazing. Northern Colorado and them duked it out.
I thought Northern Colorado would have put up a better fight, but Montana was just on the entire game.
Yeah.
It seemed that way.
And especially because I feel like in the game before that, the Grizz looked a lot shakier than they did versus Northern Colorado. Mm-hmm. So I was really worried going into this because Northern Colorado was solid the entire tournament. So to see the Grizz just hit the gas and not let up was very heartening to see. Although the game did feel like it took forever at the end because everybody just kept fouling and fouling and fouling. Yeah, and I had a lift to catch because I had an early flight.
So they tied the regular season, is my understanding, and then got the second seed.
Yep.
They played a bunch of non-con, like against Power 6 teams, and I think they got kind of worked in a bunch of them. But they're a different team now than they were then. So they played Oregon, Tennessee, Utah State, They only lost to San Francisco on the road by 4 when it got a little later towards Christmas holiday time. But yeah, their offense has really come together. I mean, they're scoring in the 80s and 90s in a lot of their games. The Colorado State or the Northern Colorado, game scored 91. So they're 13th in the country in effective field goal, which basically means like the quality of the shot with if it goes in. And then they're 17th in the nation in 2-point percentage. So they're playing Wisconsin, who just played 4 games in 4 days. It's games at altitude in Denver. Weird things seem to happen in the NCAA tournament at altitude, so it could happen. I mean, it's a 30-14, so it's possible. And yeah, I thought that game was really good.
That's why we're going to have the next final in La Paz.
Yes. And every team has to go on that crazy flight where the plane basically like crests over the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, good. You see it.
Not recommended watching if you're scared of flying. But anyway, the 15 seed is Bobby Moe, Robert Morris, the proud of Moon Township.
Bobby Moe.
Right outside of Pittsburgh, right? Is my understanding. It's like right.
Yes, it is. Yes. Let's go Western PA. We're not going to talk about Pitt basketball tonight.
No, we're not.
We're talking about tournament teams, so are we talking about Pitt basketball?
Are there...
Whoa.
Are Bobby Moe and St. Francis the only 2 PA schools in the tournament?
Yes.
Yes.
Hell yes.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
Pitt didn't make it.
Obviously, Penn State.
I know nobody made it from Philly.
No, yeah, none of the Philly teams made it.
Villanova fired their coach.
When was the last time Penn State made the tournament?
Yeah, Lehigh's in the women's bracket.
Lehigh's in the women's bracket, yes.
Yeah.
Beth, was it
against number 2 Duke?
Was it the Bobby Moe hockey team we ran upon?
Yes.
In Pittsburgh, doing like a scavenger hunt?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we were down on the Riverwalk and encountered.
Moon Township is by the airport, right?
Yes, it's right by the airport.
Okay.
Yes. It's Puddles grew up like right next to Bobby Moe.
Cool. So they were in the NEC and now they're in the Horizon League, which is basically the teams in the Midwest like Oakland, Detroit Mercy, Green Bay.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense. Pittsburgh, Midwestern city.
Yeah. Yes.
It is a part of Long Ohio.
It is indeed.
Okay.
Everybody wants to fight tonight.
Long Ohio was fine.
No, it wasn't. It was a crime.
I thought the best one was when I did.
Big New York was fine. Long Ohio is a war crime.
Listeners, what they're referring to is on Twitter, and Bluesky, I made a couple of maps. First off, because there was a picture of NFL teams over state outlines that I took personally. Some truck stop was selling stickers like this.
Did they put Jaguars over the UK or?
Well, they put it over Florida, but that was good, Bridget.
Can I get the Steelers over all 32 counties of Iowa, please?
But
they have all 32.
They had the issue was that they had the Giants over New York, and that's not correct.
That's wrong.
And so I made a big one, like I called it Greater York. Someone said you could call it Newer York or Newer Jersey.
York.
But New York and New Jersey as a single state. And it looks like Long Island is the fire coming out their ass. But then I remade Long Ohio. Someone just said that Long Ohio, which is Pennsylvania and Ohio, and someone said it looked like West Virginia was trying to shoot a middle finger in the middle of between them.
Which it is, to be clear. This was a horror show, and the worst part about it is that like I'd been on a bit of a social media break, and so this is what I saw when I logged back onto Bluesky for the first time in like a week and a half, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I leave for 10
days away.
You came in and found me yelling at Jordan.
Yeah, and I
knowing it. Was Jordan.
I joined the yelling immediately.
Who else would it be? And then of course,
I know.
Then I stacked Ohio on Michigan.
I don't like being yelled at.
That's fine.
I'm sure that went well.
That went great.
It's made purple, which
I was surprised you didn't make Wisconsin.
You should have.
Oh, you know what? Hold up. I mean,
there is basically there's like 99.9% of a land bridge there.
Was it a bridge of steel and power? or what do they call it?
You need to make Louisiana, but it's just everything along the Gulf Coast all the way through Jacksonville.
That'd be
just
good.
Long Louisiana.
Louisiana.
What about Arkiana, like the boot trophy, Arkansas?
There is you can do the Arklatex or the Arklamix, Arklamis.
Well, or if you do the big thing, you can do the chef cooking fried chicken.
Of course. The hat.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're not gonna get me for a second.
He's making stuff now.
That's fine. 16 seed American. Go.
I wanted to ask the people from Pennsylvania if they think Robert Morris needs a new rebrand, because I'm not inspired by any of these logos.
They're all really mid. It's fine.
They're the Colonials. I mean, they could come up with something more interesting, but So American, they are one of the slowest paced teams in the country, so they're going to try to grind it out and make it a low possession game.
Oh,
so that might be boring.
Who are they playing? Okay. So they're in Dayton.
Yes, they're playing in Dayton. They're playing in the first four against Mount St. Mary's.
Okay. Who is their reward if they get past?
I think it's Duke.
Oh.
I'm double checking.
Duke got a 1 seed?
Yeah, yes, Duke. Yeah. I mean, they're Duke.
Yeah, fair, but
look, man, I'm kind of strange here, but why isn't St. John's a 1? Is something wrong?
They were the lowest 2 seed too, by the way, theoretically.
Wow. Okay, is there no respect for St. John's? Is that what it is?
They lost to Villanova in Georgia, so
Georgia's an attorney, right?
Yeah, but
Nova's out.
Who does Duke have losses to? I guess Duke lost to Clemson.
Clemson's in as a 5 seed.
Duke's number 1 in Ken Palm. I don't know. They're Duke and they're hittable, but the losses are to Kentucky neutral, Kansas neutral, and Clemson on the road.
It's just like this. What, Auburn's a 1 seed, Florida's a 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Did we have to have 2 SEC teams as 1 seeds?
Yes.
Yeah.
SEC.
Who is the other 1 seed going to be?
SEC.
I wanted
Wisconsin.
Okay. Who are the other 2 seeds?
Falling apart.
I would just go with the Big East. It's been 10 years since I've watched college basketball, but I'd just go with the Big East.
I feel like because UConn wasn't great this year, and it's tough to go back to back to back. It's just like I feel like there's not enough respect for St. John's, but St. John's could do the classic they're out in the round of 32 thing, or
the Big East just didn't have a lot of other teams that they could stack up really good wins against.
Okay,
they went 18-2 in the conference, and they only lost to Creighton and Villanova. What's funny is Villanova beat these teams. They're just the most sickos team of all time when they fired their coach.
Okay.
So they didn't really have the ability to stack things.
So the Big East wasn't SEC quality, even though they both finished 500 in their conference schedules.
Yeah. So St. John's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quad 1, 8, 9, 10 quad 1 opportunities, and went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5. So
okay, so there it is. All right, that's fine. Maybe it's just that I don't know. I like Pitino as a coach.
I made Wisconsin.
I like Pitino as a coach. I like, him making a tournament with 6 different teams. I want to show the Johnnies a little bit of respect because
Rick Pitino.
Yeah, as a person who was at Pitt while Rick Pitino was at Louisville, I'm very upset by this.
Attended
this is upsetting.
They beat us.
Look, man. It's again. Maybe a little bit of the Ferrari hat, but I think he's a good.
I vividly remember the Oakland Zoo introducing Rick Pitino, and instead of saying he sucks too, having fake money and saying he pays too.
Yeah.
Woo in
Man, I might have to buy that hat.
It's one of those coaches that I know he's very problematic, but it's for some odd reason I enjoy his style of play.
You can be sleazy and
at
the same time.
Look. I'm just gonna put it this way: This man rocks a white suit, and when I got my confirmation, my godfather had a white suit on.
Yeah.
All right. So
is he your godfather or?
No, like when I went through like confirmation in the Catholic, my godfather for that was wearing a white suit.
No, but I'm asking you, is Rick Pitino your godfather?
No, he is not. But
I'd ask.
Maybe I should buy a white suit.
My godfather actually owned an Italian restaurant.
There you go.
The French Quarter. I mean, this is probably why I have like an affinity for Pitino.
You want to hear something funny? I feel the exact same way that you feel about Rick Pitino about John Calipari. I find him hilarious.
Okay, like Calipari is like kind of like, for me, Calipari is just like he's the uncle that I tolerate.
Yeah,
like he has his moments, but he's the uncle that I tolerate. Like Pitino is like the one he's coming to the church functions. He's coming to Christmas Eve dinner with a fine pasta dish. Like Calipari is just like, oh, he's here. I'll deal with Calipari.
I want to take this moment to remind everybody that John Calipari is from Moon Township.
Yeah,
and so every once in a while, he'll be spotted in Pittsburgh, and a certain type of middle-aged Pitt alum will be like, "Oh, we're getting John Calipari." No, we're not. Shut the fuck up. Stop
my
this.
dad's from Pittsburgh, so there's that Italian connection. Like it's all.
He's a paisano.
He's just here for Little Italy days. It's fine.
He's here for the veneration of San Gennaro. Anyway, Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers. They're from Emmitsburg, Maryland. Is that in the weird part of Maryland that's like next to like 6 states? Okay, cool. That's right.
Yes, yeah. It is actually like maybe an hour and 15 minutes from me.
That part of Maryland that's in like the incredible tiny strip of Maryland.
Yeah, that's
yeah. Don't get me started about Washington County, Maryland. Okay. But it is a place. They will not sell you alcohol even if you are over 21 if you have a vertical driver's license.
Yeah, that's why
I learned that the hard way.
Turn it the other way.
That has the word
is it okay?
In it because my understanding of Emmitsburg, Maryland is like not metro. But they used to be in the NEC, so there are three.
Yeah, Emmitsburg, Maryland is very much not metro. It might be like technically metro, but it's not.
One of those like DC Xers where people are driving in from like 2.5 hours away because the rents in the DC area are so high. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Correct.
So there are 3 teams from the 2020 NEC in this tournament, and 2 of them are in this region: Robert Morris, Mount St. Mary's, and St. Francis of Pennsylvania. So the NEC's really loading up here, and they actually got their actual team in too, which we'll talk about, I think, coming up. They're in their 3rd year, and their best players, Dola Adebayo. Anyway, our next team is the goated king himself, Amir Khan Ora. The Nick Neese made the tournament. So does everybody know about Ora Khan?
I'm fully aware of the Southland, Lake Charles, Nice State Cowboys, the Ora King, but we need to explain everybody the Ora King here.
So he's the student manager, and I'm gonna link the. I just typed in Ora King instead of Ora Khan. That's the first thing that comes up when you type in Ora.
He's the student manager of the team, and he's kind of a social media sensation.
They just keep adding to his page on the website.
Look, it's great because the Southland embraced us, and they have tagged us in this on Instagram and on Twitter and Bluesky and everything like that. So it's awesome.
So he has a page like he's a player, he's from the coaches' pages. And it used to just say, Khan is in his 2nd year as a manager for the Cowboys. He's a senior from Lake Charles. Then they added, Khan says about his time at McNeese, if they kept manager stats for rebounding and wiping out wet spots on the court, I'd put up Wilt Chamberlain numbers. Then they added his email address so he could get NIL deals because that's how much it took off. They did an NIL deal with Insomnia Cookies. Then it took off so much that they posted, support the most talked about college basketball manager in the country by purchasing his shirt. Click on the photo of him to buy a shirt. And it's just a photo of him holding like the Wilt Chamberlain 100, but it's just his name.
Yes.
And then they
Ora King
at the top where like usually it's pictures of like the players dribbling or like shooting. And it's just pictures of him wearing his shirt in the locker room.
Perfect.
And the back says the quote. I'm like dangerously close to buying one of these shirts.
It's great. And then the coach of McNeese State, if you don't know, you probably should know. Yeah, but if you don't know, it's Will Wade, who got fired from LSU because of the FBI investigation, which turned out to be kind of a dud, so to speak, with NIL. He
made a strong-ass offer.
Crimes.
That's right. He did make a strong-ass offer. Now he's hanging out in McNeese State, which is right next to a golf course. The name of the golf course is kind of phenomenal to go with Will Wade making the strong ass offer. It is called Contraband Bayou.
Yes.
All right.
That's incredible.
Yes. So it's right off of like I-10 goes straight through Lake Charles. There's a loop. It's like 210, and I think it's like exit 4 for the casino, exit 5 for McNeese State. And it's like right there. And look, Will Wade's probably going to be moving on to a bigger school again since NIL is legal. Huh?
NC
what were we
State.
Saying? NC State. So he's rumored for NC State at this point. So there is Clemson is going to have their hands full, but Clemson, Elite 8 team from last year. But, McNeese, they were the 12 seed last year and they kind of underperformed. So let's see if they do better this year.
I think this team is better than last year's team. They're 63rd in the offense, Ken Pom. They're 66th in defense. They nearly beat Alabama. They only lost in Tuscaloosa by 8 in the non-con. And they should have beaten Mississippi State. They played in a neutral site game in Tupelo, and they only lost by a bucket. And if I remember correctly, they were winning and then they came back. Mississippi State did. Mississippi State's an 8 seed and Alabama's a 2 seed. So Clemson's a 5. It's going to be a really, really good game.
It's going to be a trendy pick for your bracket buster there, like McNeese over Clemson. Clemson is good, probably not as good as last year, but and then McNeese is like, are they better than last year? And then is that enough to get them over the dreaded 5-12 matchup?
Our 4-13 is a usual suspect. Purdue once again will play a mid-major that has a really good chance of beating them. And it's High Point University from North Carolina. First tournament for High Point ever. They're 25th in offense in the country and 227th in defense. So they're going to get up a lot of shots.
There's going to be some points in this game.
So this will be a very high scoring game.
Yeah, it should be fun.
And I personally, as I'm not really, I Purdue's fine. I'm not a Purdue hater, but I this time of year, I almost embody the Purdue haha point and laugh sort of thing. Sorry if you're a Purdue fan and you're listening. Hopefully you don't turn it off. But I just think that this one's going to happen. Honestly,
this is going to be a tough one. Purdue has some weird sort of grit about them.
Yeah, but they only really have 2 great players. The rest.
Yeah, and so if High Point can't stop them, can Purdue stop High Point? That's what it turns into. So basically. This is going to be another trendy upset pick if you're doing the bracket busting thing.
Agreed. All right, our 14 seed is the Sun Belt champion. They survived the gauntlet.
They did.
The Troy Trojans. They draw Kentucky, and they have a great defense. They're 71st in defense, but they can't hit threes. So another one of these mid-major teams that is going to try to grind it out, and they're not going to be able to shoot well. If they do shoot well, it's such a bonus. It would be a bonus for them. It's not what they usually do. And their best player is Tatum Connerway. So that's their do everything guy, rebounds, everything. So
okay, so I have to see how Troy did against ULM this year.
Yeah,
to
check
give
that
you
out.
A barometer. All right, so Troy played ULM twice. The first game, Troy won 87-50.
Feels right.
Yeah,
pretty good.
The second game in Monroe in Fant Ewing Coliseum, Troy won 77-58. So by the Troy barometer against ULM, is Kentucky good enough for Troy? I don't know.
Kamish, there was an old episode of Mythbusters where they were trying to shoot turkeys or frozen chickens through a window.
Okay.
And they were trying to see if a frozen one or a non-frozen one would do more damage. but they didn't realize that the windows they got weren't rated for bird strikes.
Oh no!
Wait, there's bird strike ratings on Windows?
Yeah, because they were using little Piper playing windows that aren't rated for bird strikes.
So like on like really tall skyscrapers.
Yeah, and let me draw this whole back together in saying that measuring how someone plays against ULM is sort of like not knowing how bird strike rated your window is. Everything's going to go through it pretty hard.
Yeah,
except South Alabama. That's what
I
I'm
have
talking
questions about this Mythbusters episode.
So confused.
Jordan, that metaphor worked great for me. I don't know.
I got it. Unless you're South Alabama, go Warhawks.
Hey, girl, what you got?
Do we? The frozen ones definitely did more damage, right?
I don't remember how the episode ended.
Oh my god!
Jordan will not give you closure like the Ferrari shorts.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Wow. I just want to have one note about the Sun Belt. This is a really weird, really 2, 3, 4 very good teams. App State's been good the last few years, and then the bottom of the conference. Not to pile on.
No, it's just been bad.
Beloved ULM.
No.
Like really good teams in this conference and really bad teams in this conference.
No, like the Cajuns and ULM both were just like, hey, we'll let you serve out this year, but we're making changes. One said the Cajuns coach said, fuck that, I'm out. The ULM coach decided to stay the rest of the year for like his retirement tour. So both of them need some changes. And if Coastal Carolina has ever been good in basketball, I can't remember.
I was about to check that.
I think they made like a CBI because I think I watched a game where they played South Carolina upstate versus Coastal Carolina. But, in like some weird The Basketball Classic maybe a couple years ago.
I think it was something like that. The only year that they were decent and had a winning record in the Sun Belt was 2021.
I feel like it was that year.
Sun Belt. The rest of them, and they've been 8-8, but the last 3 years, 5 wins, and 3 wins.
No, the bottom of the Sun Belt is the reason they did the gauntlet because they are so bad. So
yeah, and their coach got fired, and they got worse. So that's not a great sign.
Not a good sign. No,
they didn't make the tournament. So let's move on to teams that did make the tournament. Yeah. Our 15 seed, and now from the SoCon. See why I got confused? SoCon Sun Belt. Is your Watford Terriers. So this is an interesting conference because it's like not just private small schools. It's got Western Carolina, UNC Greensboro, East Tennessee, Chattanooga, Furman, Wofford. So Wofford went 10-8 in conference, but they're like a really good offensive team. So in the tournament setting, they kind of went off. They're 67th in offense in the country, and they're 53rd in 2-pointers, and they have some good shooters. They've had a bunch of good shooters in the past. They had Fletcher McGee. Their coach went to Virginia Tech. That's not going too well, but they made the tournament now with this squad. And I want everybody to open the video that's posted here.
I just want to say, like, if there's a team that we talked about Kyle Fowich last episode.
Yes, so but I want to talk about
the Granny style. But like, if there's a team that can pull off and make all Tennessee fans regret having Rick Barnes as their head coach, can Wofford do that?
Well, they shot well in the SoCon, so like maybe, but I'm not gonna call it because they're 15 and they're like.
Yeah, I don't know how good Wofford is, but yes, this is the Granny style, Rick Barry style free throws. What is that?
In the SoCon championship.
Dude, what is that Asheville font?
Ugh.
It's apparently they're like, it's their
buddy.
tourism branding, and it's not good.
Oh my God, Asheville.
Nothing was good about what I just saw.
Yeah, Jordan, I needed, you closed it. I needed to see that again.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
He shoots 30.
We have to describe it for the listeners.
Sure, buddy.
So listeners, this is our dear friend Kyle Filewich doing a granny style shot, free throw shot. He does it and it like bounces off the rim twice and doesn't go in.
I feel like
I don't even know how you do that.
He needs more follow through.
There are 9 different fonts in
there's
that
already
shot.
so much follow through.
That's so many typefaces.
So SoCon's in its own font. Asheville in something funky. Visit Asheville. The Ingles serif over here.
Yeah, the SoCon light stripe. Yeah.
I don't know what that
and
is.
then there's the one on the banner.
Yeah. And then there's the scorebug fonts. There's so much.
That's a lot.
My
of
eyes
fonts.
cannot rest, and they
I
are
really
unhappy.
I really have to go to SoCon Media Days and this year. I really gotta go.
Also, the Asheville font that they've chosen, the V looks like a U, so my brain is going like Asheville.
Yeah, I got really confused.
The Mario, like almost the Mario Sunshine font.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's something about it that's very 90s. Like, I feel like they used that font for the 96 Olympics.
Yeah, it does kind of look like that.
I do have, by the way, I dropped some old Wofford logos in the chat. There's a very angry terrier y'all need to see with a hat.
I love him. I would die for this terrier.
Oh, totally.
I do want to kind of shout out Kyler Finowich because he's an all like SoCon player, like as a big guy. He can't shoot. He doesn't attempt threes. Clearly, he shouldn't shoot because that's why he's shooting free throws. But he's committed to making changes because he was so bad at shooting regular free throws. He decided, you know what, screw it. I'm going to try the granny style. I'm going to go out with style with this. And unfortunately for him, he went from 40% shooting like regularly, how most human beings shoot, to 33% doing the granny shots. So,
he's trying his best. He is comfortable enough with his masculinity to do the granny shot, and I respect.
He also
that.
wears a headband as like a 6'7", like kind of husky dude. So he's just got a great aura.
And then our last team,
our last one, the 12 to 16 seed previews.
So SIUE, first tournament ever out of the Ohio Valley. So this is a confusing one because you might be wondering to yourself as a listener or someone in this audience, what does SIUE stand for? Southern Illinois University has a regional campus just outside of St. Louis on obviously the Illinois side of the water, in Edwardsville. I've never been able to figure out why. There's no information online about why. They don't have the same logo. They are the Cougars, not the Salukis, are like a different type of dog. So they just kind of have their own thing going on there. But yeah, I don't know why.
I know you didn't mean to imply that cougars are a type of dog.
No,
but
not.
You did imply that cougars are a type of dog.
My animal taxonomy is not the best one I've been talking.
I mean, I think some of them got that dog in them.
Yeah, it's a weird cougar logo too. Like if you want to Google it, it's kind of like
we talked about them previously too.
Like look down, like it's like solemn. Yeah, it's not a good. I don't know what's going on there, but anyway,
I miss their old one that looked like an esports branding.
I do, but I like their logo because their logo is in a category of logos that I like to call "What is that smell?"
Yeah, it does kind of have the like ew face going. Their best player could give Houston a little trouble. He averages 19 points a game. Rayshawn Taylor. They can defend, so it might be a really low scoring kind of grinded out game at least at the beginning. Unfortunately for SIUE, they got trounced by Indiana on the road. Going to Bloomington is tough, and in Illinois, so tough road environments. Obviously, the tournament is a neutral site, so that's not going to have the same sort of vibe. It'll be, I actually should check. Where is this game? I mean, it's a 1-16 that's only happened, as we all know, twice. But the the thing is, when a team like Houston is a low scoring team. You could grind it out with them. So it's in Wichita. So I think that's decently close to Texas that the people can drive from Houston or fly. I don't know.
Wichita, Kansas.
That's a fly.
Yeah,
that's a fly. I would not drive. No, man. From Houston, Houston's like
far.
Yeah, that's too far. If you were in Dallas, you could probably drive to Wichita.
It's like 9 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, Wichita. Okay, Wichita's further south than I thought. I thought it was near Manhattan.
This was the coach that had the scissors in the box, right?
Yes. So I pulled a photo of that. So they, the coach has been at SIUE for quite a long time. I'm gonna check how many years right now. Just give me a second. But he displayed the scissors above his desk in his office and said, "When we make the tournament, we're going to use these scissors to cut the nets." He's been there since 2016, and they've been on the up and up. 2023, they were really good, and then this year they really broke through. They're 22-11. So, listen, it's a big accomplishment just to make the tournament, especially when you're in one of these kind of leagues. The Ohio Valley's been kind of in a weird spot because Belmont and Murray State left. Those were kind of the class of the conference for a really long time, and now they're both in the Missouri Valley. So the last couple of years, it's been Moorhead and SEMO that have made the tournament, but SIUE as the 2 seed in the conference made their run, and they're a very good defensive team, and they have one great player. So just listen, it happens. It's happened twice in the last few years, so you never know. I don't think Houston's going to be the team that gets upset though, if a 1 seed does.
Well, so let's talk about this then. So what are some of the things we're going to expect, like the big upsets? We talked about the 4 and 5 possibles in that first region, but who's the 1 or 2 seed that gets bounced early? Is it Duke? Does Duke end up fucking up in the round of 32?
Well, yeah, that one's tough because it depends on if Cooper is healthy. Cooper Flagg. They won the ACC without him. Obviously the ACC tournament is a different setting, a different environment, a different vibe than the NCAA tournament. But of the 1 and 2s, I mean, you have Duke. If they beat the 16, they'll play either Mississippi State or Baylor. The one that's really interesting to me is actually Houston, that we were just talking about, because Gonzaga's only an 8 seed this year, and they've been playing really well lately. And the WCC is pretty good this year, so like they're kind of battle tested. They lost to St. Mary's a couple of times, but they beat them in the tournament. Otherwise, Tennessee, if they beat Wofford, gets UCLA or Utah State, who are both good. Of them to like lose in the first round, like if I'm predicting a 15-2 or a 1-16, I'd probably go Omaha. But like second, not making it to the second weekend, I'd probably go with that Gonzaga beats Houston if Gonzaga beats Georgia, because they're the best 8-9.
Do you think like UConn has a shot to take down Florida? Like if UConn can get in past the 8-9, can UConn take down the 1 seed of Florida?
I mean, Danny Hurley probably will not listen to this podcast, and he hates the media anyway, so I'm willing to slander them on Maine. They're just not that good. Like, they don't have the talent this year. Their best player, McNeely, is really good, and they have some like glue guy type guys, like the guy who tried to fight the dude at the Big East tournament. If you guys haven't seen it, he like kind of did this kind of motion.
He did the put up your dukes, yes.
Yeah,
he did.
Ooh.
So someone said like calm, cool, and collected Midwest versus always ready to fight Northeast, and I thought that was really funny.
Yeah,
he's lived in both places.
Because it feels like there's going to be like an underperforming 8-9 seed that fucks somebody's bracket up. Like there's always
Gonzaga, honestly.
Okay, all right.
That's if I had to pick, and I'll make a bracket. Creighton, Louisville, the winner of that against Auburn in the second weekend, especially Auburn, obviously the games that they lost are to really good teams. They lost to Alabama on a last-second shot in overtime, and they lost to Tennessee at a neutral site. So obviously all the games in the tournament are neutral site. So it's not a pretender of success because they played each other. But the winner of the Louisville-Creighton game, especially if it's Louisville and they get going and they're pissed about their seeding and it's in Kentucky, it's in Lexington, the game. Ooh. So like that could happen too. So yeah, I feel like the 8 seeds are really good this year. I mean, UConn obviously is coming off of back-to-back championships with different teams. Gonzaga, Louisville, Creighton. I think Duke is fine. I mean, they're a 1. They have other really talented players. But yeah, of those, like that's my thought. I don't know if you have others.
I'm going to say this. Is Auburn a bit of a paper tiger? Because
they have just a really good team. It's just a matter of like, do they put it all together?
Are they more of a paper eagle or perhaps a paper peacock?
Paper plainsman?
The team that's
Plains paperman
shot up the rankings here is Florida.
Okay.
And Florida got that last 10 seed. The thing about Auburn is their defense isn't that good. They foul a lot. Oh, yeah. Wait, no, I'm reading this wrong. Sorry. Compared to some of the other big time teams, they're second in offense and they're 12th in defense. So like you're looking for those teams that have like
glaring deficiencies.
Those two numbers combined should be like below 18, and that's the teams that win the championship. Unfortunately, if you do that calculus, it's not unfortunate. It's just the best teams are the best teams. The teams, if you do that calculus, are Duke, Florida, Houston, Tennessee, Iowa State, but Iowa State's in a bad spot because of injuries. And then St. John's is first in defense and 65th in offense. So, like, I just don't think a team that's 65th in offense, unless they go on a heater, is going to win the championship. But you never know. It happens sometimes.
Okay.
That's like championship level. In terms of like upsets,
I'm just looking for the team that just like ultimately stubs their toe and they're done. Like they don't even make the Sweet 16.
Yeah. I think because Gonzaga is playing their best ball right now. I mean, they have one loss against St. Mary's since February, or both of their losses since January 25th are to St. Mary's, who really grinds you out. And that's another interesting one because St. Mary's is a 7 seed.
Yeah.
And they're playing, if they beat Vandy, they play Alabama. So that'll also be a good game. I mean, I don't want to sum too much for the WCC because that's like what I watch at.
It just feels like there's so many SEC teams that there's a possibility for a lot of SEC carnage.
Yeah. I do think that Yale will win against A&M. And I do think that Drake will beat Missouri. So that's if I had to call my shot on SEC teams losing, that's what I would say.
I need my lock sound effect. Sicko's lock of the week.
I think the lock, like, put it in Sharpie, as one of the people says on.
Well, like that.
I think it's Seth Davis.
Seth Davis, yes. Sharpie.
Is Drake over Missouri. Missouri has some really good wins, but Drake is just like really, really good. And I don't even know if it's like an underseeded thing. Like that's not for me to decide. Like the committee did what they did in this regard. But Missouri is 73rd in defense. They've lost 4 of 5. They've lost to Vandy away, Oklahoma away, Kentucky at home. They beat Mississippi State, but then they lost to Florida. They gave 95 points to Florida, which, Florida's great. So, yeah.
That's a lot of points.
They're favored by 6. So, like, I think that I just think that the way that the vibes are going there, that Drake will win. That's like the one I would really lock in.
So for our extra tournaments, we have all we have is a CBI bracket, correct?
The NIT bracket is now out.
Yeah.
Okay. We do not have a CIT bracket yet.
I don't think so.
Yep. Have not heard anything from the CIT or the College Basketball Crown.
Yeah, we can skip that for now. Let's just move on to the next stuff. Let's just talk about what's going on in North Carolina.
So
let's get some college football in here towards the end.
This is
oh my god.
I'm really excited to talk about the UNLV thing, to be honest.
I just want to talk about North Carolina and UNLV. That's the 2 college football things I want to talk about right now. Those 2 things. That's all we need to do at the end of this episode here.
So in terms of what is going on at UNC, we have 2 screenshots here in the show notes.
Yes.
One of them is from Matt Hartman on Bluesky. Bill Belichick asked UNC staff to copy his girlfriend on every email they send him. And then there's a screenshot of the email from Bill Belichick to a Robbie Evans. Robbie, thank you for the email. I'm including Jordan on this email so she can also keep up with our postings. Can you include her on anything you send to me? Thank you, BB. And then,
can I give him a theory before going? Actually, tell the.
Oh, please.
My theory is that he doesn't know how to use a smartphone very well, and she does. So,
yeah, because it's for Facebook and social media posting and things like that, and he's just the Instagram boyfriend, while she is the Instagram whatever she is.
So, what is the photo of?
Yeah, so there's this photo. And shout out to Katie for bringing this to my attention. Yes. So there is a photo of hot girl like on her back being held up by her boyfriend. So she's on her back and she's got like one leg bent and one leg out and her toe pointed, and they're on a beach and she's in a white swimsuit. And boyfriend is holding her hands and has his feet under her ass. So she's like up in the air. Listener, the boyfriend is Bill Belichick.
Hey, you know what? As someone said, my 18-month-old loved this too.
Yeah. I think Nina Kimes tweeted that out, which was incredible.
This is Bill.
Oh my god.
And posted by Bill's girlfriend. The caption on Instagram is sun emoji, hashtag spring break, hashtag us time, hashtag still got it. Strong, like flexing arm emoji.
Have we talked about the music that she had put to this posting?
On this?
What? There was music?
Oh my god, hold on.
If it wasn't this one, it was if it wasn't this one, it was another one.
Hold on.
Where she, like, either this or in her stories, she put it to Lou Reed's Take a Walk on the Wild Side.
Oh my god.
Nope.
Hold on.
Gotta be Bill's song. Oh god. That's too much.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'd forgotten about the Halloween picture. I'd forgotten about her as a mermaid and him as like the fisherman.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
No.
Oh. The top Instagram comment. What you got Bill doing, man?
Oh my god.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like you want to date someone in their 20s. Like, this is.
You gotta take a walk on the wild side.
Yeah.
That's
I assume she's the one taking a walk on the wild side.
I don't know.
I assume neither of them are listening to the lyrics.
This is like a whole series. It's not just this one. There's one where she has headphones and a baseball cap on and is just balanced on his feet.
So I assume there's like a photographer for this.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yes.
Either that or they set up a tripod, but yes.
This feels like a photographer thing.
Oh my god.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
Entirely too much.
Airplane.
Beth, I got a photo shoot idea for next year's brawl.
No, you gotta.
Is this not weird as fuck? Is a top comment on Instagram.
Beth can. I don't know. Beth has got leg strength. She can put Jordan up.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Jordan, if you do that, you gotta put on the West Virginia leggings.
I will.
I thought Jordan was just gonna spend this year getting swole so that he could be the base.
No, I want Beth to lift me up like this so I can look. My long legs look pretty.
I might do a little
We'll
research.
set it to you, raise me up.
Uppies.
No.
Yep. Yeah. This is 100% going
there's
on
a
the
comment
Instagram
like
account
that's
to "You Raise Me Up" by the Celtic Woman version.
Yes.
Please.
There's a comment that says that's a 6-time Super Bowl champion, and then she corrects this person and goes 8 times. And I'm like, oh,
dude just probably gave himself a slip disc or sciatica for like 6 weeks.
He can't feel it because of the neuropathy. No problem.
Oh god.
It's true.
And then our last bit of news, UNLV basically said that they didn't have enough cash to cover the last half of Dan Mullen's contract.
Yeah. Okay. So like the UNLV athletic director just basically says this out loud. Like, you're not supposed to put this in public, folks.
Just to the regents. Like, send this to the regents.
Said this to the Board of Regents last week that his department can only cover the costs of the first 2 years of football coach Dan Mullen's 5-year contract. At a meeting Friday in Henderson, Harper told Regents that the university's athletic department is $26 million to $31 million in debt.
Oh, great. They don't even know.
He was then asked by Regent Joseph Arascata how he plans to play for Mullen's $17.5 million contract. He's like, but because you have $3.5 million for 5 years and you're running nearly $30 million in the red. What's the plan to pay the coach? How's it going to get done? Harper says he hopes to raise money through donations, increase revenue from football games to pay Mullen, who was hired in December to replace Barry Odom. So they're relying on attendance?
They're relying on money not being real. That's what they're relying on.
Well,
I mean, which, to be fair, it isn't.
I mean, I don't think this is an unusual situation for athletic departments right now, and it's like it's not looking better on the horizon. I would not be surprised if UNLV is, like I would expect there to be other schools in this position. I mean,
not
like
out loud.
Yeah, but like you can't, when it comes to talking to your actual like board of regents, the people who run the university, you can't hide if something's not financially sound, But like, I mean, I would not be surprised if there are a lot of schools like this.
Like but they also don't
future.
say it publicly, because what happened after that is that the AD came back and said, no, we actually have the money. We didn't mean it. We're just kidding.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Nothing to see here.
Well, because they have the money, because they're just going to put it all on black. You go down with a bunch
Wesley Snipes said, always bet on black.
You put in a bunch of chips, you just go all on black. You double your money instantly. Boom. There used to be casino games for Game Boy. Like that used to exist. Or maybe it was Sega. It might have been my
Wait. Hold on, man. You just said Sega?
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
What was that?
Wait, my Sega.
Jesus Christ, man.
Your what?
That hurts. Sega?
Sega.
It's they even say it on the game system. Sega.
It's a Sega.
No.
Your Sega.
It is
no,
not.
It's a Sega.
Sega.
Would you like a ride on my Segway?
It was on the hand. What was the handheld one that ate so many batteries? The 6 batteries?
Game Gear. I had a Game Gear. It was great.
And so they had casino games on
there.
Watch
it die in real time.
And the best part was that what I would do was I would take my starting money. I would take my starting money. I would go throw it all on black. If it worked, I'd throw it one more time. If I didn't, I'd restart the game. And that's how I work in Vegas, basically. Get there, double your money instantly, or just push restart.
I mean, yeah, that's how it works in Dragon Quest. I assume it works that way everywhere.
Mm-hmm. But this is what they should do with Dan Mullen's money. Just be like, hey, Dan, bad news. I don't have the rest of your cash. Good news. We can go make it right now.
No, what they need is the thing that you put in the Game Gear that had all the cheat codes in it.
Game Genie.
Game Genie, yeah.
Okay. Definitely. Had that.
And then they can just clip through to having money for his contract.
I feel like Game Genie is a bad nickname that someone will call Dan Mullen.
Look, I mean, there's a thing that comes out of this for me personally. Them not admitting they don't have money to pay, and then the thing that happened with the quarterback last year.
Yeah.
Matthew Sluka. And I'm like, okay.
I mean, the one constant is that UNLV Athletics does not have a lot of money. Like
that seems to be legit. And then
again, hear something interesting. They just fired their men's basketball coach like yesterday.
Is there a buyout on that?
I don't know. I didn't check. Let me check.
Jesus.
Yeah, there's a reason that UNLV jumped at the opportunity to just stay in the Mountain West and collect the exit fees from the schools.
They own a buyout of $2.3 million.
Oh my god, that's not even a year of. Okay, so now they're even further in the red
of Mullen money.
No, they're even further in the red now. Now they're looking at like $35,000 in the red.
They need to get a Mulligan. No,
we should end the show on that.
That's my terrible.
No. I got two more things.
Okay,
we got
stuff. Okay, go.
So the first thing is, do you guys remember a couple weeks ago we talked about the Illinois men's basketball team hanging a jersey in the rafters upside down?
Yes.
So we've got more problems for things hung in the rafters in the state of Illinois because the Chicago Bulls championship banners were damaged by a concert by the band Disturbed. So the band had like fire effects as part of their show. They did not set the banners on fire, but the heat from the fire effects melted some of the championship banners. It's just the 6 championship banners that are affected because they're like bigger, so they hang lower than the other banners, and they're right in the middle. But the banners will not be in display for the remainder of the Chicago Bulls season. They're out for the season. They will not be fixed until next season. And then one other thing, speaking of players being out, the Dallas Mavericks and the Philadelphia 76ers set an NBA record today by playing a game with a combined 20 players out.
Whoa.
The Dallas Mavericks are in such a bad injury situation that for a bit, it was looking like they might straight up run out of players because of all of the injuries they have. They got some guys back from injury today, so it looks like that crisis was averted, but they were looking at possibly having to forfeit games, which is crazy for an NBA team. But basically, the NBA salary cap, a lot of people will say like, oh, it's like not real, it's easy to go over, but there's certain things you can do to turn it into a hard cap. They've done that, and so they can't sign anyone. So they're stuck with whoever's on their roster, and they also have like two-way players who are limited on how many games they can play. So if they have to play the entire rest of the season because guys are hurt, like they just contractually cannot play that many games. So it was looking like it was like unless they get some guys back from injury, they're going to straight up run out of players. Fortunately, they got a couple guys back, so maybe crisis averted. But if those guys, get hurt again, they can't add anyone. They got to figure it out with what they have.
Okay, folks, I think that's what we got for today. So we will see you on the other side.
Hey, Beth.
Hey, what?
What do you call something that when you have to do it again, and it's related to UNLV?
Oh, a Mulligan?
No, it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way? Oh, okay, I tried to.
But Grish, I was wondering, since you didn't mention it before, what seat did WVU get?